Again, it's so hard for me to think of you as that baggy pants guy or the lifer in a retail
Bandanas
bank
on my
guy.
head.
Bandanas on your head. Okay. And was there any trouble with the law? Is all in the
Yeah,
past?
we talked about it. Yeah, almost the same. So around the same time, when I was still a minor, before I was adult, around 16, 17, I got arrested for, some kid stole a credit card, and he's like, hey, he's like, you can go and use this credit card and buy something and we'll split it. And I was like, yeah, cool, let's do that. And I remember being, after the store and buying the stuff, and somebody come and grabs you and like you're under arrest. And then having to show up in court and with my mom, and it was like my first time also like wearing a dress shirt. And that was a pivotal moment, being in court in that same time. Like that time was so, like you can see how I could have went, sometimes there's periods in life where you can go one way or another. And I remember so vividly now, being in court, about to face the judge, and looking at other youth like myself there, who I'm no different than them. I'm the same like they are. But seeing some of them who it's not their first time there. And you can see in their eye, they don't care. They already accepted the fact that this is who I am. I'm a criminal, or society turned their back on me, and they already don't jive with society and that kind of mainstream culture. And they're rebellious to the point they're like, I'm not gonna be part of the society. And that was scary for me. And I thought, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here again. And I just want to do things right.
It's interesting you say that. One of our most popular guests is a guy named Dorian Yates. He was six-time Mr. Olympia, and he had a similar problem, got thrown in like a youth jail when he was fairly young. And he tells the story of like one of the other inmates there. The guard was telling him to do something, and he was going to throw him in like solitary if he didn't do it. And the guy said to the guard, I don't give a fuck. I just don't give a fuck. And so basically he had checked out of society, rules, consequences. And Dorian thought to himself, well, I actually do give a fuck. Yeah. And so that kind of scared him straight. And he was like, yeah, I don't want to be this delinquent prison lifer like these other guys.
Exactly.
So, wow, sounds like that was a big moment for you.
It's massive. Yeah.
All right, so this is good stuff, man. So, and again, like you said, a lot of us, when we feel a painful moment in our life, right, the quickest thing to do is to mask it, right, or get away from it. Let's go check out Netflix, check out Instagram, go eat something, go buy something, go smoke something. But if you actually take a moment and be with the pain, that's what you did, right? You're like, okay, I suck, I'm a loser, and like, let me really meditate on that for a bit, because that's the only way you're gonna change, right?
Yeah, I think it's very important. I had another one, of course, another one of those moments in the future before we started our business. The turning point for me that really changed a lot, and this was the reason why, we do what we do now in regards to being very open and sharing and helping share our experience, even as I'm here with you or through our own channels, is because when all that was going, magically, my wife and my mom's manager, she worked at this retail store. His name, I believe, was Joseph. I love to, if Joseph ever hears this, I'd love to meet him again. And he was a great manager to her, and he gave her Personal Power 2 tapes by Tony Robbins, like actual tapes, like a set of 30. I remember that, and he gave tapes. He had 30 tapes, and he gave it to her. And my mom brought her home one day, and we're going through this rough time. And I'm like, what are these? She's like, oh, my manager gave them. He says we should listen to it. And that's when I started listening to Tony Robbins.
Wow.
And, whatever, people think of him, and, obviously he's big. There's a lot of drama maybe surrounding him. However, I'm so grateful, for him to share that knowledge of that and sharing his own story, how he overcame his own struggles, especially in those tapes, and sharing kind of the guidelines of what you need to do to get out of your state, and how do you create a life for yourself. I think it's so great, even what we do or what you do now, sometimes we take it for granted. However, the the reason I create content is I always think of that 17, 18-year-old Alex, and hey, I can change his life. Because the way, Tony Robbins changed my life, to really start reframing my mindset to think of like what I'm grateful for. Even though I had nothing, you can say, oh, my life was crap and I have nothing to be grateful for. But in reality, there were so many things. And once I shifted that mindset to be able to think of the things that I have instead of don't have, and the opportunity that I have, because even think about it, being 18 years old, any billionaire will trade, who's like 90, would trade places with an 18-year-old who's healthy and young but broke in a day, right? Because it's just, you got that whole life and youth and energy. It's amazing. Yeah. So, and those are the things that especially young people take for granted, because we're so insecure when we're at teenagers or early 20s. But in reality, we're one of the wealthiest people in the world when we're that. So Tony Robbins really helped me in that time to really shift and create a new life for myself.